Good morning. Today is Tuesday, the 5th of February, 2013. Here's all the news that's worth talking about in Panama today. There's a series of protests programmed for today, the 5th of February, primarily by the, I can never say this word, Navebugle Indians in Chiriquí, Bocas del Toro, Veraguas, as well as the Suntrack says that they're going to participate. The Cologne Broad Action Front says they're going to participate. Now, the leaders of all of these things say that the protests are going to be passive, that they're just going to beat their horns and bang on pots and pans, that they're not going to block any streets, and they're not going to have any confrontations with the police. However, that doesn't always happen that way. The police are rolling out their riot control units just in preparation. This is from the Estrella, the campesinos in the area of La Mesa and Cañazas in Veraguas are saying they're ready to go out. The thing is, what you have is you have various groups of protesters here, and that there's not really one of them that can control what the other ones do. Some of them are, and also the leader, the person who is making the statements or organizing the thing, can't control what the people do that are in the crowd. So you have the potential for road closures today between Panama City going towards Chiriquí, also possibly along the coast in Bocas del Toro from like, say, Changuinola down to Almirante or something like that, and then over going into Cologne. I mean, it's just a bad day to have to go out and move around and to do something. So, if you can avoid it, stay home. All right. Now, today is the last day of practice for the Panamanian men's national soccer football team. They will be playing against Costa Rica tomorrow here in Panama City at the Roma Fernandez Stadium. This is the first game of what they call the Hex. There's 6 teams in the playoffs. This is the fourth round of qualifying for the FIFA World Cup, which will be held in 2014 in Brazil. Panama has never qualified for the World Cup. So everybody on the team and everybody in Panama thinks that their chances are better this year than ever. The Panamanian team should definitely have the emotional edge going into this game. And everybody's getting all the Twitter. They're saying things like, make sure that you only buy tickets if you have tickets, or if you want to get tickets, make sure that you've got them from a authorized seller, that there are counterfeit tickets out there running around, and the cops are going to be out there in force for security and stuff like that. So anyway, big game tomorrow for Panama. Okay, there was a fire last night in an apartment in the Los Angeles neighborhood of Betania. The firemen showed up, and guess what? There's a fire hydrant, and the fire hydrant doesn't work, so they had to use the water in the tanks of their vehicles to extinguish the fire. And no matter where you live in Panama, and especially in Panama City, just because there's a fire hydrant on the corner, don't expect that sucker is going to work. On the contrary, expect that it will not work, and just be aware of that. Fire hydrants almost never work. Okay. Yesterday, this is off of Telemetro. Yesterday, the Minister of the Presidency, Roberto Henriquez, did an interview in which he was talking about the designations of the 3 people who were to serve on the board of directors of the Panama Canal Authority. And the former administrator of the Panama Canal Authority, Alberto Alemán Zubieta, came out today and said, well, he says it's inexcusable ignorance to say that the board of directors of the Panama Canal Authority is just a decoration or a protocol, that they really don't do anything. Enriquez says that they only meet 2 times a year, and they really don't do anything but just rubber stamp whatever the canal's doing. Zubieta came out and said, no, that's not right. They meet 80 times a year. Well, when I saw this exchange going on, the first thing I thought was, when I saw, and they also, this is the funny part, Enriquez also talked about Alemán Zubieta because they were talking about conflict of interest with this Castillo woman. And he says, hey, what about Zubieta? He's the administrator of the Panama Canal, and he was involved in the CUSA company, and they won the biggest contract. They're part of the consortium, and nobody said anything about conflict of interest when that happened. How come they're talking about this? So he came out and said, well, that he separated himself from CUSA in 2005 when the expansion started. Yeah, okay, fine. But when I saw the interview with Henriquez, the first thing I thought was, okay, there you go. There's the Cambio Democrático tossing Zubieta under the bus. Zubieta has decided that he is not going to have anything to do with the Cambio Democrático as far as being involved in their run for the presidency for 2014. He might run as an independent. So now the CD machine has already turned around, directed their fire, and now they're going to start taking shots at Zubieta. And it's political. So anyway, those are things that are going on. So just heads up for that. Okay. The company Sonda, which is responsible for the little cards that you use to pay for the Metrobus, the director of Sonda was on the news this morning, and he basically said, we recognize and accept the complaints from the users, and they're making changes to improve the system for charging the cards. For example, right now, if you walk into the El Rey supermarket and you say, I want to charge my card, you can pay for your milk and your bread at the cash register, but then you have to go stand in another line and do it there. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to integrate charging the cards in with the cash register systems for that supermarket and for other supermarkets. So you can just go milk, bread, pack of cookies, and charge my card, and boom, it's all done. Just to make it faster, one-stop shopping. And he threw this number out, and there are 450,000 people ride the bus every day in Panama City. 450,000. It was like 500,000 a day ride that bus. That's how many paid trips occur. It's like, wow, okay, that's a lot of people, and they're riding the bus. Okay, Ferrofino, this is from the Mi Diario. Ferrofino is one of the ministers on the cabinet of Ricardo Martinelli, and all this time he's the one who's been showing his hand as he wants to run for president. And now it looks like he might be shooting for the mayor's office because he's probably realized that there's no way in hell he's going to win the presidency, or that there's probably somebody else who's going to be going for the presidency. I think that's going to be Marta, Ricardo Martinelli's wife. So he's basically coming out and saying, all right, well, I'm going to go for the mayor's office because, I'm not going to get Martinelli's backing for the presidency anymore. Now, that's interesting because I had a conversation with Roxana Mendez, the mayor of Panama, just last Friday, and she told me that, yes, she is going to be running for the mayor's office as well, and she is in the Cambio Democrático. That means Ferrofino is going to go head-to-head against Roxana Mendez, who is the current mayor of Panama City, for those of you who like the political machinations here. Okay. We're coming up on Carnival, and every year during Carnival, the word Junta virus comes up. Junta virus is a virus that exists in Panama. It's carried by like mice, and it doesn't hurt them. The mice can be carrying this Junta virus, and it doesn't hurt them or kill them or even make them sick. They can run around all their lives carrying this stuff, and what happens is it's in their droppings, it's in their urine and their feces. So when people go to Carnival, they go, okay, I'm going to go up to Grandma's house in Las Tablas, and then Grandma goes into a room that they never use, and then they sweep it out, and the dust is from the mice is where the hantavirus exists. That's why when people get in cleaning out these areas that are, there's always a spike, and that's why, because more people get into places where they get closer to where the mice are. So anyway, heads up for hantavirus if you're going to be sleeping on the floor somewhere in a remote part of Panama during Carnival. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm out. Today is the 5th of February 2013. It's Tuesday morning. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.